All right, what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be starting our section dealing with polar coordinates. Okay? So right now, a polar coordinate deals with something totally different than what you're used to. All right? It's going to be dealing with certain levels of a circle right here, dealing with, if this was the radius of 1, that's where your circle would be. If this was a radius of 2, that's what it would look like. Radius of 3, so on and so forth. Right now, what we're going to do is learn how to change things from degrees to radians and from radians to degrees. So for example, if I had 60 degrees and I wanted to convert that to radians, all I would have to do is multiply 60 degrees by pi over 180. And that would equal 60 pi over 180, which reduces to pi over 3. So if you want to go from degrees to radians, what you have to do is you're going to take your degree, whatever it is, and multiply it by pi over 180. And that will convert it to however many radians you have. Just remember, 1 radian is equal to 180 over pi, which is approximately equal to 57.3 degrees. So 1 radian will always equal 180 over pi. Now, if I want to go from radians to degrees, I need to take however many radians I have and multiply by 180 over pi, and that will give me the exact amount of degrees. So if I had pi over 3, and I multiply that by 180 over pi, these pi's would cancel out, and I'd be left with 180 over 3, which equals 60 degrees. So if I plug in 60, I get pi over 3. If I plug in pi over 3, I get 60. So what are the two formulas you need to know? Radians to degrees, multiply it by 180 over pi. Degrees to radians, multiply it by pi over 180. All right, what we're going to do right now, we're going to go through a little pattern. Okay, so just follow the pattern and see if you figure it out. Right here, if I have 0 degrees, it's pretty easy. I have 0 pi radians. If I have 30 degrees, here's the pattern. It's going to be pi over 6. Anything that goes up by 30 degrees, you're going to add another pi over 6. So if I went from 30 degrees to 60 degrees, that would become 2 pi over 6. Just listen and see if you can figure out the pattern. From 60 to 90 is another 30 degrees, so that's going to be 3 pi over 6. This will be 4 pi over 6. That's not 30 degrees. That's another 30 degrees. That will be 5 pi over 6. And this will be 6 pi over 6. Now, some of these stay the same. For example, this one just stays pi over 6. This reduces to pi over 3. This reduces to pi over 2. This reduces to 2 pi over 3. This does not reduce, it just stays the same. 5 pi over 6. Ooh! This one reduces to just pi. So right now, every time you go up 30 degrees, what do you add? You add another pi over 6 every single time. Now if you go up 45 degrees, I'm going to change colors here. You're going to actually go with what's called pi over 4. So if I go up 45 degrees to 90 degrees, does everybody see how 90 degrees could also be rewritten as 2 pi over 4, which reduces to pi over 2. I go up 45 degrees, that jumps me up to 135, so that will become 3 pi over 4. Jump up 45 degrees, that gets you to 180, and that becomes 4 pi over 4, which simply reduces to pi. So every single 45 degrees, here's a couple of concepts I need you to know. Every single time you increase 45 degrees. That means you go up pi over 4. Whereas every single time you go up 30 degrees, that increases the radian of pi over 6. These are what? These are degrees. These are radians. Okay? So what we're going to do over here, we're going to go around and show you what these are. Right here, I'm at pi over 4. Right here, I'm at 3 pi over 4. 30 degrees, everybody. 30 degrees will put me right about in here. 60 degrees will put me right about in here. 120, right about in here. And 150, right here. So we're only going to go halfway. So right now, this is my 30 degrees, which is pi over 6. This is 60 degrees, which is pi over 3. This is 120 degrees, and this is 150. 120 puts me at 2 pi over 3, and 150 puts me at 5 pi over 6. Now, we've only done halfway. We've only gone halfway, so what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to go and complete the other half so you guys have a list of conversions from degrees to radians.